Alright, with the excitement like we did before a few minutes ago, let's start again. So we have with us the manager of Saint Kitts from Australia, all the way from Australia. It's really late for him there, but he's still bringing that energy to us. And let's welcome Ben Bradford. And without wasting any more time, Ben, let's start with your initial thoughts on the game.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a really good game. I think that we started out pretty poorly. As soon as I watched the score as soon as I watched Burnley score a goal, I was looking and I thought we were going back to the Spurs of old. Defensively, I thought it was a pretty soft goal to be for us to concede. And I looked at that and I wasn't too positive, and I thought maybe Fulham was just the start, and like what we've had with we've had it with Conte before, and we've had it with I remember having it with Nuno, where we get off to a great start and then it starts to go downhill. But no, we brought it back. I think after we settled into the game, we really picked up, and I think that I'm just happy with the performances. I think pretty much everyone today I was really happy with.
How about your game, man? Were you happy with your own performance as a manager today?
No.
I didn't let you sleep last night. Was it my fault, the performance?
No, it wasn't your fault. Just for the viewers, so we actually recorded an episode, and there was some audio problems, so we didn't pick up my own mic, so sorry about that, but it's alright. It was a good little introduction, so to speak. I'm the manager for a team over here in Australia, and we had a tough game. It was a semi-final, and we were versing a really quality striker. He scored 4 goals on us, and it was difficult, and but that happens in games, you know what I mean? So
it does,
you win some, you lose some, and we're a young squad, we're a young squad playing men's football, so
young squad with a fairly young manager, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Talking about 4 goals, man, what did you make of Sonny's performance today?
It was cracker, wasn't it? It was unreal. It was good to see him, and yesterday we were talking about him, we were saying how we didn't like him out on the wing and that sort of stuff, and we put him centrally, and he shows us what he can do. That looked like old Sonny right there, confident, on the ball. He looked like he was finishing his opportunities. I was really happy with him. I think he looked happy. You know what I mean? He looked happy up there.
He was,
I felt like Solomon complimented him well, and I think that it looked like a good strike for us.
It felt like he owed something to the club, because his happiness clearly showed, and he showed his gratitude to the fan base. But it still felt like, even though he scored 3 goals, it felt like he needed some space to score those goals. Like, if it was a really closed space, I don't think Son would have done as well as he did today.
Exactly.
That's just my gut feeling,
No, his speed definitely came into it, especially for that third goal, where we had the time and the ability on it. I think, a player like Son, if he's on his day, he's on his form, he can finish anything. And I think that, scoring 3 goals against Burnley is great, but we need to see him perform in these big games. You know what I mean? I think that'll be a really good benchmark. Obviously, we have the international break for a bit, and we got Sheffield, and then we got Arsenal, and then Liverpool. So a couple of big games for him to really step up, and if we want to keep this form going, that's the time to prove it. You know what I mean?
Even though we conceded a goal fairly early in the game, I think our defenders performed really well, especially Pedro Porro. I wasn't expecting Pedro Porro to, continue his form to another match, because we are not really used to consistent defenders. What did you make of our defense today? Like, were you as satisfied as me, or were there some problems?
I think offensively, we performed great. I mean, Adoji and Porro both got the assist. But to be honest, I would say I don't think Porro was as defensively sound as what I like for a right back. I think he got beat too many times, especially for that first goal. I think he had about 3 opportunities to redeem himself, and every time, I can't remember what the left mid's name is. The Italian bloke. Yeah, he just got pushed past, and it didn't look solid, you know what I mean? And that's a Burnley player right there. I'm not dissing on Burnley, but you put
Still,
a
man,
Man
yeah,
City player
you're a
on there.
Brazilian guy. I
Yeah,
mean, physicality is something we expect from you.
yeah. Well,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
it's
not Brazilian. Pedro Porro is
no,
from.
it's Spanish. It's Spanish,
I'm really
Spanish.
sorry,
He's
man.
I was,
He's
no, I wasn't gonna correct you.
uh,
No,
yeah,
it's something where I think defensively, I mean, I think we were clean up, but offensively, I mean, Romero got on the goal. I thought that was
yeah,
a cracker of a goal.
yeah,
Um, and I think that was all around pretty good. I think we saw Vicario. He made a couple of good stops, and I think
yeah. That
but
drop was
we
really
saw
good, man.
still
Yeah,
he still isn't catching the ball. So
he
you saw a
wasn't.
couple of
Yeah,
times where he
he likes
punched it
punching
away,
them
and
away.
I'm watching him, and
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know, some a different keeper would take that to their chest. You know what I mean? So
and those weren't even that
it's interesting.
congested areas. Like he could have easily caught them. It wasn't that like
That's what
coming
I
with
thought.
that. Yeah,
I felt like I remember one. It was on the right side and it came into him,
yeah,
and it looked like he could have caught it, but it sort of felt like he thought someone else was going to get a touch on it, so he punched it away anyway. So I understand, but yeah, I don't know.
but man,
I
these
feel like
corners
it's
can cost
still
us a loss against a quality team.
yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. You punch that ball away and it drops to a player. Your keeper's in the wrong position. It only takes two passes to get it from one side of the field to the other one, and it's a goal. So
Yeah,
if you go for the punch, I think it's got to get out. I think it's got to go away from the play and that sort of stuff, because it's really dangerous. Because when a keeper punches up, they're going up above people, they're clearing out an area, and they're going outside of their goal area. A lot of the time, they're not punching it on their line because they'll
yeah,
sort of tap it over. But at the punch, they'll do the big Superman dive, that sort of
yeah.
stuff. They'll be out of position. They sort of take a second to get back to where they are and move back. So I don't think you want your goalkeepers back to, well, I don't think you want them tracking back while trying to save shots and that sort of stuff. So look, I think he had a good game. It's just stuff to improve on. But
Yeah,
we've
his
also got to remember,
distribution
I think it's
was
his
appreciable,
fourth
I
game of
think.
the season.
Yeah,
I think it's his fourth game of the season, so I think it's tough. One thing I would say is Van de Ven once again involved with conceding the goal. I don't know whether that's
yeah.
what's going on there,
It's
and
his third of
he's
the
getting a
season, I
lot of
think.
time. Where it's gone on his side, and
Yeah,
it's he's got a touch to it, but it's ended up in the back of the net. Where it's something where I think, I mean, he's young. He's a young player. He's probably still, well, he's definitely developing in that sort of sense. But it's just annoying because you're watching it and you're like, like, you probably should have got it out or something like that. That first, I think it was it the second goal? I think that's when it
that was
happened.
the second goal, second Burnley goal. And
Yeah,
these things are
it
really
cost, yeah,
unfortunate, but when these things happen really frequently, something has to be done. Like balls
exactly,
shouldn't be getting through
exactly.
that consistently from you.
No, I think it's fine in these games when we're 5-1 up, but when it comes to a big game, what do you think of Basuma today? What do you think of him? Because
Bissouma, I think he was not as good as he was 2 games ago, 1 game ago. I think he was still lacking in those turns that we used to see before our last game. Like he was turning like Beyblade and spinning tops in the midfield. That was
yeah,
really missing today. But he did his job. He did it very well. I think he was making those progressive runs that we really miss when there's escape on the field or someone else of a lesser quality.
yeah,
But I was really missing that Bissouma. It felt like Bissouma was struggling to make those, cutting through their defense with those through balls and making those crucial passes. It was too much reliant on Madison, in my opinion. What did you think of our
yeah.
midfield today?
I think it's set up a bit differently from what it was previously.
Slightly, yeah.
I think when Son went central, for this game, I think it played differently. I think Adoji played differently. There's just something I just noticed. I think they didn't link up as well with Solomon. Like
Yeah,
I think a lot of the time when we're watching, especially against United, you'd see Son hold up the ball and Adoji would come past and pass it off. I think Solomon sort of tucked in a little bit more, and
yeah,
maybe he might have restricted the area a bit. I don't know. It was interesting. It felt like we're watching a completely different setup, even though it was only one change.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It was
it's
because
it's
Solomon
interesting.
felt like he wasn't comfortable with these new players that he was dealing with. A lot of missed passes, and I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Something was really missing in our forward progressive games in the final third, especially when it came to Solomon. Solomon has that blistering pace. I'm not gonna deny that, but he still needs some work that needs to be done in
well,
my opinion, man.
yeah. I think he got into a couple of good opportunities inside the
Yeah,
box, where you would expect any other attacker to try and finish it into the corner, and he passed it off. For that first goal for Son, I thought that was pretty intelligent of him.
yeah.
Rather than going
That
for a
goal
shot,
was,
he
yeah,
picked out his man. Um, and I don't know, he got 2 assists today, but I felt like it wasn't as solid as a performance. I'd say Kulusevski had a better game
yeah. Really,
than
I think
Solomon.
it was still a
Yeah,
disappointing game from Dejan Kulusevski. That's just my opinion, man.
yeah,
When it came to taking his man on one and all those stuff, I think he was way too predictable. He felt like a one trick pony. He was just cutting in and
yeah,
those he was making his first touches. Even Sonny's first touches were really harsh oftentimes.
yeah.
It's just not looking as
Um,
good as our forward line showed, man.
I think Kulusevski was unlucky to not get his assist for Son.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that ball he put in for Son,
yeah,
I think Son's got to take a better first touch than that,
yeah,
and I think that's a touch and finish every day. Um, I think if that's Harry Kane in that situation, he's bearing it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So,
yeah,
um, which obviously we won't have Kane, but it's sort of something like that. I don't know. I think Kulusevski. I think it was a better game. That was better than his game against.
yeah,
It was again better getting. Yeah, it was better than the last couple of games, but it's still not as involved as what we want. I think with the wingers, it's still difficult because we're still like I think even the fans. I think we're still sort of trying to figure it out. Just how we play. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
we've seen a lot of variety in the different styles of how we play, but today, I think in that last maybe I'd say from the 50th to the 70th minute, 80th minute, we really saw some good football from Spurs.
yeah.
I think we got the goals in there, and I was pretty happy with that. Um, what um what do you think of Madison's performance?
Madison, man, what can I say about Madison? How good was Madison today? I think he didn't left any stone unturned today. When it came to
Yeah,
passes, yeah, he was there. When it came to making his defensive contribution, he was there. I think he was
yeah,
more defensively involved than Dejan Kulusevski. Kulusevski often takes time to track back in this position. But Madison, man, Madison was all over the field. Exactly like Bissouma was in first few games. He was all over the field. He was all over the
yeah,
heat map. I think he was good, man. His goal was really technically proficient, man. That goal was like the way he curved it in. His confidence is something we are really lacking in the other players.
yeah. No, exactly. I think he looked really happy out there. I thought that he
Yeah,
looked. I feel like he's been planned for us for a longer time than he has. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like someone who's come in this summer. I think just in terms of just how he passes the ball around, how he I really like how he plays with Decky. I think that the way he
yeah,
passes around with him, like I'm he's finding holes and gaps in the defense, and it's I think it's really impressive by him. I'm really excited to see how he develops as a Spurs player because right now we're looking at him and he's
yeah.
been unreal for us.
One thing we're
That goal was
lacking, I mean,
sensational.
there's a drought when it comes to long passes and crosses, man. I don't see many of the anyone in our team that's making those contribution when it comes to distribution other than Vicario. Did you see anyone like
Yeah.
in the beginning there was Perisic. He was delivering those quality crosses, but Perisic also seemed dull today, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't. To be honest, this wasn't Perisic's best display.
Yeah.
I think all the subs aside from Emerson, I think were a bit underwhelming. Like, they're coming off the bench to prove something. I don't think that they had that great of a game. I really liked Emerson when he came on. I thought he got really stuck in.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with that. I think, it's difficult when you only have 20 minutes to play, but I think he got involved with it a lot, and he got fouled a couple of times, stuff like that. What did you think that there was a penalty in that game? Because there was a couple of shouts and whatnot.
Yeah. There was that Højbjerg incident as well. I don't know, man. It's really hard to make that call, to be honest. Once you're there, you're there.
Yeah. I think when I was watching that, I felt like, I don't know, it's a lot of them, they were really close to being penalties, but I didn't think there were any that were in there. I think Højbjerg went down really early.
Yeah.
I don't know why he went down. Like, he was running onto a through ball there. I thought that was really weird, but
they didn't show any close-ups either. Like, they just moved on.
No, that was really weird. Normally that VAR will have a look at it, or we'll see some close-ups on the replay or something like that. We didn't really get a good angle of it, so.
I mean, we could have got at least a good look, to be honest, because after hardly a few minutes, we took a look at, I think it was Udoji's challenge. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have done it a few moments earlier.
Royale. It was Royale for a
Emerson Royale.
Yeah. When he went in, I thought that was really weird. I was like, it's interesting that they're given that, because I saw Emerson, like, it was rough, but he got the ball. You know what I mean? I think
he got the ball. I think it was fair, man. If you go that deep into checking those tackles, it's gonna be really hard being a defender in Premier League.
Yeah. I think I was watching the Everton Sheffield game, and it was Braithwaite made a challenge on, I think it was one of the Sheffield wingers, and he got the ball at first, and then he went through and hit the player. And I think it's one of those ones where you got a yellow for it, and it's difficult as a defender, because how are you supposed to guess where their feet are? You know what I mean? Like,
I think we have to draw the line there.
Yeah, I think it's that difficult to get the ball, as a defender, and obviously you can tell when people come in with poor intent and whatnot, but you're trying to win the ball, if someone's leg ends up behind it, well, that's just how football is sometimes, you know what I mean?
Of course, and it happens when you're tackling from tougher angles, like very congested angles from behind. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen every time. But talking about defenders, man, I really wanted to see Ashley for Did you expect Ashley on the bench today? I didn't expect him anytime sooner.
Ashley Phillips, I thought that was interesting. He didn't play in the under-21s game, which I thought was really weird. I was expecting him to play in that, and to be on the bench, he didn't play for us, but I think that's a good sign. Trust him.
Should we be grooming him at the top level directly? Do you think?
I don't know. I saw today, I don't know if you saw it, but Harvey White got transferred out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, I mean, we saw Jack Clark. I don't know if you watched the game.
Yeah.
Jack Clark actually scored against Southampton today. He's an ex-Spurs player. We've got players like well, you probably know him, Dylan Markanday. We've sold off talent like that. It's players where we're letting go of them, and I don't really understand it.
And we always cry that
one of the best
we don't have any outcomes from our academy, but we end up doing this every time, man.
Yeah, I think that's really disappointing, and I think I hope Ashley Phillips can go well, because I liked him at Blackburn. One of my mates is a Blackburn supporter. So I've watched a couple of games when he played.
Yeah,
he hasn't been. Yeah, he hasn't been in the first team for a while, but he looks really strong on the ball. I think that he's got a bit about him, and I think he's pretty intelligent. Like, he's not, we were talking about Dyer sort of switching off, that sort of stuff. He's not a player who'll switch off. You know, he's got that focus in there. So, I mean, I hope Ange's idea of bringing him in is, you know, he wants to start him as a rotation. I think I'd prefer him over Sanchez right now.
We
But
really need depth, man, right now. We really need, and Dyer isn't gonna come anytime soon. I don't think he's gonna be an option this season.
yeah,
Do you
well,
see Dorrington coming
not on the
in
bench.
anytime soon?
No, to be honest, I've just been honest. I've never seen him play.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have enough.
I've seen a few games. I
things to
mean,
give
he
it to
did
me.
seem like a prospect for future, and many people are saying that he should have been brought earlier because he's a academy product. But I think we should give Ashley
Yeah.
Phillips some time because we are in really hard waters if we got one injury in our defensive line, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it can go downhill pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think Spurs today. I don't know. I was happy with the result. I think 5-2. You guessed two. What did you guess? 4-0.
Yeah, 4-0.
I guess 4-0. So that's fair enough. I guess 3-1. So it's
I
close.
think
You know
it's
what I mean?
somewhere
I
in
think,
between, yeah. We both win. We'll
Yeah,
take our
exactly.
victories.
yeah, I think that yeah, it's lucky. I was watching the City game for a bit as well.
You
Because
watch
it was
City
also on,
game.
and,
I have a question for you, man. Do you think we're gonna survive against top level teams in Premier League with this prospect? Because there was some guy who was asking in the group, how are we playing today? And I said that we are playing like a mid-table team, and everybody lost their shit listening to it. Like they were saying we are playing so
they're
well.
getting
But
angry.
yeah, but I really think it
Yeah.
wasn't that great of a performance, to be honest. We scored some goals, yes we did, but I don't know we're gonna survive against the City.
Look, I think there's a couple of things we got to consider with it. I think one of the big things is Burnley. So you got to take whatever result happens with a grain of salt. I think the Manchester United team wasn't as strong.
Yeah.
I think Brentford's probably been our biggest challenge all season. Look, we lost to Fulham. Fulham's, I don't know. But you know, you compare that to a City, it's a completely different level. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think teams step up to the occasion when it arises. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing against Burnley, you gotta play like you're playing against Burnley. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you won't play. You know, it's a different play style. So I'll be interesting to see how they play against City because City can be ruthless. You know, we're talking about the punching out and that sort of stuff. If
Thing
City
with
gets that
City
ball
is
inside
they're
the
not
box,
gonna
they're
go
scoring.
down after 15 minutes like Burnley. Like if we conceded 2 goals in the first
exactly.
50 minutes, they're not gonna give us any leeway after a few times.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't think
Pep will be shouting
our
on the sideline.
performance. Yeah,
Tell
exactly.
them to keep going. Yeah. So I think I think one of the big things to factor in is, you know, you have a player like Haaland.
Yeah.
I think Haaland is sensational.
He's gonna nail it on the head.
I think in his position he is the best player in the world.
He is.
You know, I'll
Who
hear
else
calls
is there?
for Mbappe,
I
that
don't
sort of
think-
stuff.
Nah.
Mbappe. No,
I don't think
Mbappe's
Mbappe is near.
consistent. KDB, Rodri. I'd put Rodri up as a shout.
I
But
think
yeah,
there's
different
someone
positions.
missing.
But I'm talking as a striker. You know, in the role that he plays, I think he plays it perfectly. I saw him today. I saw him score a hat trick. It was sensational. He got a hat trick and an assist to Alvarez.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that and I'm like, Julian Alvarez, okay, World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, future Ballon d'Or winner. He will win the Ballon d'Or. You know,
He is gonna
highest
win the
Premier League goal scorer.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's on 42 Premier League goals now, all time.
Yeah.
He's been playing for one season.
One season.
That's
it.
insane.
That's
insane. It is honestly insane. You know,
and
if he
he's
kept up
just
this
started,
pace,
man. He's gonna demolish the
he
records.
will have the Premier League Golden Boot in 5 seasons if he keeps it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. It is honestly like you just look at him and like, you know, wow.
And the balls
So
he
I
get,
think
man,
you
those
put-
are so flawless. Like from the midfield, be it
exactly.
KDB or anyone else. It's just
Yeah.
really hard to
I
see us competing at that level. I'm not being like overly negative, but there are a lot of things
no.
that we need to consider right now.
There's. I think the thing is there's levels. You know what I mean? You know, we can celebrate winning 5-2 against Burnley,
Yeah,
but there's levels. City just beat Fulham 5-1. You know, we lost to Fulham last week.
yeah,
You know, I'm not saying it's the same team, but you know what I mean. Like that's the levels that we're dealing with. So, whilst Burnley are all great and stuff, I don't think Burnley's even won a game. I don't know. Have
yeah.
they?
That was really unfortunate. Talking about like Burnley and Fulham, did you blame like a whole lot of chaos is going around there, Ange Postecoglou this season to make those changes? Will you blame Ange or will you blame the players for that loss?
What was that? Sorry.
I'm saying, will you blame Ange Postecoglou for making all those changes in our cup game, or will you blame the players for lack of quality? Like, there's a whole debate going on.
Look, I think the thing is we had when did we play Fulham? Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know,
Uh,
a few days
yeah, it's
ago.
like for us, I
Yeah,
think it's like Thursday.
I'm lost on days,
Um,
man. I'm working.
yeah, I don't know. It was about 3 days ago.
Yeah,
You know, if we don't make the changes, we go and play Burnley. You know, we mightn't win it as convincingly. We might even win. You know, I
mm,
think that a team like Spurs, you know, the amount of money that we spend, we should be able to put out a second team
yeah,
against Fulham, who are also putting out a rotated team. You know what I mean, in the cup and win.
yeah,
I think that it's a bit of a lack of quality between the players, but I don't think it's the players' fault. You know, like our player can't help being bad. You know what I mean? Like they can train
yeah,
all they like, but if they're not up to the quality, that's not their fault at the end of the day. That's up to the club. That's up to Daniel Levy to
yeah,
provide the secondary players. You know, that sort of stuff. So I think I'm not blaming the players, but I think they could have performed better, sure.
yeah.
But you know, our main team, if they performed that like that against Fulham, we would have won. So
Yeah, I don't
it's a
think
like
there's
it's
anyone to blame, to be honest, because Ange didn't know that we can perform this badly. I think we also had some high hopes from our B team because the way they were performing. So I don't think it's about blaming. He just wanted to try some players out and it didn't work. I think,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. That's the thing. And you know, Ange said that. I think he said, you know, the players can't sit on the bench forever. Like he's got to see
yeah,
what they're made
exactly,
of. You know, he's got to see that because if we get an injury and Davison Sanchez has to come in and he hasn't played a single game all season,
yeah,
you know, we're in a whole lot more trouble than if we get
we
knocked out of
are,
a cup tie or something like that. You
yeah,
know, at least he's getting minutes in, that sort of stuff. I'd much rather have players touching the field, getting involved. That you know, I don't want to have a Tottenham where we have a main team and that's it. You know what I mean? We need to have players who can rotate through and who can have the ability and complement.
yeah,
Because you know, when we have a player like Basuma who mightn't be on the top of his game, it's like okay, well we'll just bring in Højbjerg and he can play exactly the same. He can up it better. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think that's I think it's really important. We were talking last night about players who are getting transferred. What do you think of Højbjerg not ending up leaving? Højbjerg and
I
Umbele,
think I'm
Lloris.
pretty satisfied with Højbjerg's performance today. I mean, he's not as good as he looked in Conte system, to be honest.
Yeah,
But he did well, man. He can hold the line once we have done our work in the first 50, 60 minutes. He can definitely hold the line. He can do his job, and he did try to provide some crucial passes. Some went like overpowered, but I think he did his job very well, especially considering the like abysmally low performance that he gave in last match.
are you glad that he didn't get transferred out?
I am, because I am a big Hoiberg guy, man. To be honest, I didn't want it to see him go in the first place. To be honest, a lot of people consider
Yeah,
him deadwood, but I don't really consider him deadwood. He's a
no,
versatile
no.
player, man. What do you need in a team like us under Ange Postecoglou system? We need a guy who can do everything.
Yeah, no, exactly. I don't think I've ever labelled him as a Deadwood player. Um, I think that he definitely he's good enough to not sit on the bench. I think
Yeah.
that's important. He's certainly a mid to high table Premier League player. You know what I mean? Like if Aston Villa bought him, he would start for Aston Villa. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If Brighton bought him, he'd start for Brighton. So I think that's important to consider. Teams like that where he would play for them, he would play all the minutes, and it's just difficult because we're like in the in between stage of, we got Basuma, but he's also not bad. So
I think he'll
it's
only get
interesting.
better with time. I really think he'll get better in this system.
I saw Ange put out a statement. He was saying that Bentancur will be back in November. What do you think of that?
Yeah, he will be back in November. I think there have been some official statements, but I don't think he'll be given direct entry into the team. He'll have to earn his place. I know you disagree with this, but I really think he's not gonna get directly into the team.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, whether it's
Yeah,
right or wrong.
yeah. First, he'll
No,
get a few minutes as substitution. But do you really see him getting directly into the team in place of Sar or someone else?
I think that there's a lot of things that we don't see as fans. We
Yeah.
don't see training and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And I think as soon as he gets back from his injury and starts getting involved with he'll initially come in as light training and stuff. I
Yeah.
think once Anne sees his quality and that sort of stuff, I think it won't even be a doubt. I honestly think he's that much better than Sarr. And that's nothing against Sarr. I just think Bentancur last season, I was so impressed by him. Just his performances, the way that he was able to bring a couple of games back. I think Bournemouth, Leeds, I think the game that we played against Sporting, he played really well.
Sporting, yeah.
And I think we really missed him against Milan.
Yeah.
AC Milan.
If we had him,
I think,
our fate could have been different.
Yeah, definitely. I think we would have won, to be honest.
Yeah.
I honestly think he's that much of an impact, and I think, like personally, just from watching him, I think, I watched him at Juventus, and even though he was sort of in and out of the team, when I watched him play, he looked really quality. And I think, watching him at Spurs, especially, I remember his Brighton debut, I saw him, I knew, as soon as he had that game, I was like, yeah, he's going to play well for us. I think in my, ranking of the Spurs players, I think would go, Son, Maddison, Romero, Bentancur. I'd say that in terms
Definitely,
of
man.
levels of players.
Bentancur last year was way better than Sar this year, to be honest. I also rate him very highly, but coming from an injury, I don't know, man.
It's difficult. It's never one of those things where it's straightforward, clear cut, because you come back from an ACL and there's obviously a bit of rehab time, but I think depending on how long they leave it as well, that'll be interesting, because whether they integrate him in and whether they hold him off for a little bit longer and say, we will only play if you can play 60 minutes or more, versus if they say, okay, you can start and play 20 minutes or something like that, or something like that. It'll be interesting because, sometimes players will come back from ACLs and they'll wait all the way until they can play 90 minutes. And if that happens, I think he'll be in the team. I think we'll see him in there. But that interview, I think Ange said that it was like he pretty much had to get one of the medical staff to drag him out of the office. Because he's that eager to get on the field, and I love that. I love that passion.
Yeah, we need that passion in our team, man.
I think that once we get that, and I don't know what else. I feel like we really are missing a signing, aren't we? I feel like we miss.
Where are you missing the signing? In what position?
Centre back.
Centre back, definitely.
Centre back, and maybe I don't know. We'll see. I feel like it's early, but if we get someone getting some goals, something like that, maybe I feel a little bit more confident. But I feel like, right now I'm missing Harry Kane a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We replaced Harry Kane with a system. Usually you replace a player with a player, but we replaced him with a system, so it's gonna take time.
Yeah. Do you think Harry Kane's looking back in wishing that he stayed at Spurs? Or
I don't think so, man. He was really adamant on leaving. I think he thought a lot about it, and he did see Ange Postecoglou do his thing in the early days. I really
yeah,
wish that I forgot. Was there a clause? I think there was a buyback clause. No.
no, that was getting discussed. No, there's not one.
Uh,
I wish.
talking about a defensive lineman, I think we can do with some make shifting, like Emerson Royale, making him play as a centre back if there's an injury. Like we can
Yeah,
do those sorts of things.
I think he can. I think we'll see him playing as a left back.
Yeah.
We changed up the formation. Did you pick up on what formation we're playing? I wasn't really watching it as much.
I think we were shifting between, like, we did have for the most part 4-3-3, but I did see some glimpse of like our inverted fullbacks going.
I thought it might have.
What?
I thought it might have been a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
With Porro pushing up as a right mid.
Yeah, I think I did see it.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And
it's a really malleable position, man. Like, a lot of things happen. Sometimes there are inverted fullbacks, then at times there are wingers who take the lead. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that we can see Emerson playing at left back. I really back that. I think that centre back's interesting. I think there's a big difference between playing a centre back in a 3 versus 2.
There is.
If that makes sense. Defensive pressure. I'd love to see Emerson. I honestly think, I was never one of the Emerson haters. I'd like to stand by that because there were lots of people who were saying Emerson out, Emerson shit. They're really tough, and I think that's really unfair on players. To be honest, I think you have a player like Emerson who shows that much passion for the club. He came in, he was pretty cheap as well, 25 mil coming into our team, and he's played like he's out of his skin a lot of games. So I think that the fan base needs to give him a little bit more time, and I think Ange definitely has a role for him. It's just sort of figuring out what.
Yeah, he provides the defensive edge when we substitute Pedro Porro because we need it sometimes. We need someone to hold the line.
Definitely.
So, yeah, he's also good offensively. He's not that bad when it comes to offense. I don't think he is. He has those silky touches and passes. So that's good that we have two different kind of inverted backs.
I think Porro is really good at shooting. I think Porro's long shots and that sort of stuff.
I think that shot is etched in our skin.
Yeah. I'd say he's more of a goal threat, but I think Emerson's definitely not one to be, sniff your nose at. I think he's definitely a good player, and I think I'd like to see Emerson and Udogie play. I think that's my preferred wing backs, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like Porro, but I just think defensively we need to have a bit more cover, and we'll see how it goes. It's interesting. I think Porro plays well as an inverted fullback. I don't know. I didn't really like when we signed Porro, to be honest.
I mean, we didn't need him at the point, but it felt more like a desperate signing to me. But he's coming good. He's coming good, man, in my opinion. Like, not defensively.
I don't think he's a bad player, but I think that he's been put, I think the ball's been knocked past him a couple too many times for me. I think I don't know. It's good offensively, but
positional awareness is also questionable. Like, he's not always aware, like, what kind of distance to keep from his man.
A positive is, though, we do have that young of a defense. Our defenders are really young. I don't think a lot of people realize that, like, just how young our defenders are. I think our oldest one is probably Romero, and it's like 24. And like we got Vicario, but goalkeepers are a bit different because 26 or Howard's.
Keepers can
Howard's
easily
on
play.
Vicario.
What?
Howard's Vicario.
How old is Vicario? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me
yeah,
see.
yeah. How old is the?
He's who the fuck is
26. Yeah, 26.
26. I saw someone
That's
else,
young for a
51 years
keeper, to
old.
be honest.
Yeah,
I like to think of keepers as 3 years younger than the actual age.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They can easily play up
I
to.
think that well, look at Lloris. Lloris is 36,
Yeah.
starting for Spurs.
It's sad that he's not getting a home, man.
Yeah, I was a little bit sad about that as well.
Yeah, he's not
Because
that bad.
Lloris was one of my favorite players. No, I don't think he's bad. I just don't think he suits the system. I think that a lot of players, a lot of teams, they want to pass out from the back and do
Yeah,
that sort
he's
of
not
stuff.
that
And I think
modern
that
goalkeeper that is required for high pressing teams like sweeper keeper that with that good
yeah,
distribution and all those qualities.
yeah, no, I think it's difficult. I think it's like De Gea, where
Yeah,
he doesn't have the ability to pass around the back, but he's still a quality keeper. Like France captain, so
yeah. So who was
yeah,
the
as a World
player
Cup.
of the match according to you from our squad, from our team?
Oh, it's fun. It's got to be fun.
Son? No
I think,
Madison?
yeah. Nah, no, not when a player gets a hat trick. You got to give him their flowers.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think that
especially that first goal,
I,
man.
yeah. Oh, that was a beautiful goal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I haven't
that
even
was
talked about it.
elegance, man.
It's unreal. Um, yeah, I think that Son had a good game. I think it was really good for confidence. I think Richarlison would have been sitting on the bench and kicking himself because
Yeah,
it's you never want to be you never want to be subbed. You never want to start on the bench, and then you never want to see the player who you got subbed in for score a hat trick like that. So it's difficult, and I think a lot of the Spurs fans are probably gonna dislike Richarlison more because of it.
I
Because
don't know,
seeing
man.
someone get the
Richarlison,
goal.
did he ever get opportunities in that open space? Like very few opportunities he got.
I don't think so. Not like that.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. I think people are gonna think about Richarlison a bit differently than what they think of Son, but I think that's different. It's different. Richarlison played harder games.
yeah.
It's against
And Burnley
Burnley.
is a different team. We
Um,
didn't play any team with that open, playing with that high line.
yeah, that's one thing I thought. We talked about it last night about the difference in
Yeah,
how Burnley played. I thought we stepped up really well to that. I
yeah.
thought we played really well.
So,
What do you think of my Swedish guy, Zeki or whatever?
I mean,
You saw him
I,
take a couple of shots and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think Brown is it Brownhill? Yeah, I think he had a bit more of a threat than
yeah,
him, but
yeah. His influence was really good on the game. You can really feel him, he was doing stuff, he was getting in between the lines and other stuff. But I think Foster was really good. Foster was
yeah.
continuously attacking our defense, yeah, challenging and questioning us difficult. Like it was really hard.
If you had to sign one player from Burnley to Spurs, who would you get?
Oh man, do you have any player in mind?
I've got one. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think I'm gonna sign. This centre backs were not as good as I would want a centre back signing in our club, to be honest. Because if we're gonna
Yeah.
sign someone, we're gonna sign someone with a decent quality to him. So I don't know, man.
You don't think you'd pick up anyone?
I would, I would take,
You don't think
uh,
you'd sign him?
I would take some a hard worker like Foster, to be honest, because we need that,
Yeah.
someone with continuous threats and challenging the defenders.
I think personally, I would take Travers. I thought that he played really well,
Travis,
the goalkeeper. Yeah.
yeah, but
Um,
I think Mikali
I
is
thought,
doing his job really well.
yeah, but, he's a young keeper. He can sit on the bench and learn. I thought his passing was really good.
Yeah,
I thought he looked really confident. I think Burnley's got a steal for him, 20 mil for a keeper that young. I
yeah,
think he's like 20 or something like that.
he's
He's
really young,
6
but
years younger than Vicario.
yeah,
That's something you got to remember. That is such a big difference in player.
but he's
Um,
playing like way beyond his age.
yeah, definitely. I think honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs go in for him. I
Yeah,
just being for real. I think I think that there'll be a bit of a race, especially if Burnley go down. I'm
yeah,
expecting this is like a prediction now. I'm expecting 45 million for him
yeah.
for what to go to one of the teams minimum. I think that yeah to play like that at age 20 is insane. I think that's one of the most impressive things. 6 years, like if you think about like a player, if you look at um you know well, I don't know. An attacker. If you go an attacker, we
Yeah,
talk about taking the 3 years off their age. Imagine an attacker playing like that at that age. Like
yeah.
you, if we had an attacker who's playing like that age 20, and
I
keeping the
mean,
3 years
Haaland was doing it
old
when
age.
he was 20.
Yeah, well, we'd love to have Haaland, wouldn't we? So
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think personally I'd take him. I think that he could play for Spurs for 10 years, 15 years, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? That young, I think that's the sort of player that I looked at him and I watched him in the Euros. He didn't concede a single goal. That's the whole under 21 Euros. That's
Yeah.
unreal. I think that yeah. As much as I like Vicario, like I think Vicario is good. I think that there'll be a time where we'll
Don't
see a
lie, man.
couple
You
of
don't
these
seem like
issues
a
come through.
Vicario guy to me. Come on, say it with your chest.
No, I do like Vicario. I will say I do like Vicario.
Yeah?
I
Is
don't
he
know.
growing on you?
Yeah. No, I like him, but it's just I don't know. I think it's a catching. I think that's something that it's sort of
Yeah.
yeah. I want my keeper to catch the ball. You know what I mean?
It's only about time
So,
when we concede a goal from ricochet.
yeah, and it'll happen. That would we would definitely drop points because of
Yeah.
his inability to catch.
Do you see Dyer coming in
Oh,
our squad?
what'd you say? Sorry.
Do you see Dyer
Dyer?
coming in? Yeah, coming in the squad?
No.
No?
No,
I asked
no,
this question
no, I
because
don't
we were
think so.
talking about Dyer yesterday, and you seem like really fond
I
of him.
like Dyer, but like what I think I said yesterday about Dyer not fitting in the system. I don't think Ange will change the system
Yeah,
to fit him in. You know what I mean? Like I think he wants those quick centre backs like Van de Ven. I can't see him playing. The only reason why I could see Dyer playing is if he needed to play CDM, or if we would.
he
in
did
the
really
massive
well as a
injury
CDM.
crisis.
Like not really well, but he did decent as a CDM.
I think he played solid. Like I think it was
Yeah.
a decent CDM. Like
Yeah.
I think it's. I don't know. I could see Dyer coming in if we had to change formation. Like maybe if
That's
we
not
want to
gonna
hold on to a
happen.
game or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe but we could change formation like mid game or something like.
Yeah.
Let's say we're
Like any variation
3-0
we can
up,
do.
2-0 up or something like that. We might chuck in an extra defender to sort of secure up
Yeah.
the win, that sort of stuff. No, I was happy. I will say I was really happy with the way that the team kept going and kept chasing after the goals.
Yeah.
I think after 3-1 or even 4-1, we could have given up there. But to get the fifth one, I was really happy with that because I think that showed a bit of intent.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, yeah, I felt like that was a good moment because under Conte, we would have stuck it at 3-1 and we would have
Yeah.
left it there. You know what I mean? He would have made defensive subs and we would have held tight, which I don't think there's a problem with that, but at the end of the day, we're waking up at all sorts of times,
Yeah.
to watch these games. We want to be entertained by it. So I was happy with that. I think there's a lot of positives coming from Ange's football right now.
And it is what's separating us from teams like Burnley and Bournemouth because we can go on like this high pressing style of play for a longer period of time till the match ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, while they are not
Yeah.
able to keep up with this system. So, any last thoughts on our performance, man?
No, I was happy. I think it's disappointing that we have an international break now.
Yeah.
But I think it also gives us a chance to get a couple of the injured players to come back as well. I think it'd be a good opportunity for the players. I play like Ndombele, whilst
Do you
he might not
expect
be on
him in this?
international break, he'll be at the club.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
expect to see
What
him
was
play?
that? Sorry. I think the problem is he's being paid too much not to play.
And I think he's
I
gonna
think
be left out of the squad because we are like our squad is
of
bloated and
of numbers.
yeah, we
Yeah.
need to leave. I think 2
Yeah.
players out.
Yeah. Well, we've got once we drop Lloris, that
Yeah.
should be alright. Because Lloris is getting his contract ripped up, and I think maybe even Dyer as well. I think Dyer might be going. Dyer's gone into his last year of his contract. I think Ndombele still has another season. So like another season. We signed up for a long time. I remember that. So hopefully he can go to Saudi League or something like that. We should get good money from him.
I don't know, man.
I'll take 70 mil from him from the Saudi League. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's on like what 10 million a year or something.
Yeah, something stupid. Yeah, I think Saudi League should pay out big for him. We've seen some crazy transfers. I think what was the big one? Salah. They're apparently going for Salah for 200 mil.
Yeah. But they refused it. They refused the offer.
They refused 100 mil. Apparently they're going for 200 mil now.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
there's always some price.
And Ndombele strikes me as a player who'd like to go to the Saudi League. If he's
He can do well
sitting
there.
on the bench here. Yeah, if he's fine sitting on the bench, big stars, flair, he'll be able to show against some lower league opponents. He probably wouldn't have to run as much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They'll
and
probably
Saudi League is not
run
that of
around
a
him.
technical league like La Liga. It's more about the flair as you talked about.
Yeah, it's about the flair, and if he likes living in luxury and getting paid high money, I mean, look at that. I'm sure there's a place at Al Nassr for him. So
yeah. So when is
Play
your
with
next
Ronaldo.
game, man? When is Saint Cat's next game?
It's the season done. That's semi-finals, so we're knocked out. It's probably be my last game for the club. We'll,
Man, I wish we could cover one game after the podcast.
We all the videos and stuff should be leaked, should be online soon. So
Before you go, do you think we're ready for the Sheffield game, like a big team like Sheffield?
Yeah, I think it'd be difficult. I watched Sheffield get a 2-2 draw with Everton. It was the battle of the championship. So
yeah,
a real test for Spurs.
It's gonna make or break us.
With bad teams. No. What's your prediction for that?
Sheffield game? Man, I predicted 4-0 for this game,
Yeah.
so I don't know. What do you expect from me? They sold their
Should be like
marquee
8-0,
player.
isn't
Like
it?
I forgot his name. What was their name? They sold that guy, and
Bursch? Is it Bursch?
I think it was boys. Let me look it up. I forgot his name.
It's
He was
the CDM, right?
Yeah.
It's the,
yeah. And
Sander
I
Bursch.
think it's gonna be.
They got rid of him.
Do you think we're gonna concede a goal against Sheffield United? I'm hoping for a clean sheet.
I think we will. Do you know Cameron Archer?
Yeah, Archer. Yeah.
It's the striker. They signed him from Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see him pop up. He'll get a. So my prediction, a 6-1.
6-1. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going
big-
for 3-0. I'm staying on a down low for this match.
Yeah. No, I think
We're taking
this
turns.
team against Sheffield. I think there's big gaps in this team, and I think that if we play well, we'll get Brennan Johnson in. I think it
Yeah.
should be good.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Excited.
in that game. Yeah.
It was great to come onto the podcast. As always,
Yeah,
had a
man.
lot of fun. Make sure to like and comment, guys. If you're still here,
If you're still here, please
we'll give
do
you $5.
Yeah, and he'll give you some merch from all the clubs that he's gonna manage, and we hope that he's gonna manage Tottenham Hotspur very soon. let's see what happens,
Very soon.
what the future has in
Yeah,
its.
in 2 years. When Ange leaves, I'll take the realm. Okay.
Yeah, he's you
Like,
don't know, he already has a deal with Tottenham Hotspur. That's why he is on this
yeah.
podcast.